We're millennials, this is how we do it. We make good money, but we're broke and we're going through it. We have many problems, we know how to hustle through it. Millennials run the world and we're here to prove it. We're millennials, this is how we do it. We make good money.
Thank you for tuning in to Millennial Mindstate,
seeing the world through millennial eyes. I'm your host, Dr. Cher.
And I'm your host, Elsie. So today we're going to be talking about friends or foe.
So what, I guess, when you think about what defines a friend, I know I think about somebody being dependable. Somebody where I can literally say the worst thing. Like I can say, that baby don't look that cute. And they're not gonna judge me. Like I don't have to worry about being judged. I know that's a messed up comment, but I'm being truthful. Somebody I can be myself with. If I'm broke, if I feel like I'm about to get depressed or something, I can actually tell that person, and I don't have to feel like you're either A, gonna judge me, B, gonna tell my business, and you know me well enough to kind of know like, okay, well, I'll be here for her, I'll know how to come for her, whatever. So definitely that. So I guess dependable, non-judgmental. You can be vulnerable around them. And I don't know, they just genuinely care about you. That's what I think. What you think?
Well, when it comes to friends, I feel like there are so many layers to that. So how I kind of place people is like in a organizational chart. A hierarchy chart, So you of course have your best friends. Those are the people you know that you can tell any and everything to, and I have probably about two that know every single thing.
Right.
And the great thing about them is that they're not in my circles, so they don't really talk to my other friends, you know what I'm saying? So if something were to go down, I'll call them and give them all the details, like, okay, if I end up missing, this is who you need to look for. This is my account number.
Right.
Get the bail money ready, you know what I'm saying? You on the list of emergency contacts, you on my credit card. So, you gotta have at least two.
Oh, yeah.
If not one. But when you're talking about friends, definitely people that are dependable, that you feel comfortable around and you can be yourself. You don't have to put on, and sometimes that's where you lose yourself as a person, because when you're with this group you have to act this way, when you're with that group you have to act that way. So you have to narrow down your circle, and as you get older you have to make your circle smaller, and we'll talk more about that later on throughout the show. But a friend is just somebody that is dependable, you have a good time with, it's not going to judge you, somebody you can trust. So it's very, it's very important that you really define what a friend is, and then you have your associates. So those people you're cool with, like we hang out, we're cool, you know what I'm saying, but I can't really say you my friend, you know what I'm saying, because you're having people that you just kind of only see when you hang out, and y'all cool, but then you have the ones where you doing sleepovers with, like we do, sleepovers where I think you and I are we're definitely past associates, we're definitely past friends. We're past best friends. We're sisters. And so that's another level too, where you just kind of be like, that's my sister, and I'm ride or die for her. So, people that you have in your intimate space. We done have plenty of sleepovers and whatnot. And so
we still like sleepovers.
Yes, we do. So now we're gonna talk about what defines a foe.
Oh my goodness, a foe. I would say smile in your face. Definitely smile in your face. Talk behind your back. That's been going on since the beginning of time. You can't trust them. I feel like sometimes a foe too, they play the role though. They will play the role in it, and I mean sometimes you really can't tell. You like, okay, we're cool, we're good, that's my friend, and they play the role, and then next thing you know, that's the main person. If everybody knows your business, that was the center of it. So to me, that's a foe. Someone who doesn't have your well-being, in the forefront of their mind. They're doing what they want to do for selfish reasons, whatever, jealousy, whatever the case is. And deep down inside, they really don't care about you, no matter what they say or no matter what they do.
That's true. I definitely can concur with that. Those are the ones that don't mind hanging around with you because they want to keep tabs on pretty much what you're doing so they can report back.
Yeah.
you know, like, I really don't care for her, but I'm gonna go show up to whatever she's having, because I just want to run back and say, girl, let me tell you how her house look, or girl, let me tell you who she brought to dinner with her, or just stuff like that. And they'll sit there and be taking pictures of you and stuff, and then sending them off to their friends, like, oh, look at her hair, look at her wig, and how it's just, why is she wearing that wig? You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, that's cute. And they be like, girl, look at her hair. Girl, this is a smile, girl. Right. Girl, look at this shit right here. So it definitely, you kind of have to differentiate that. And that's how we go into the next one. What is a frenemy? What defines a frenemy? And I feel like a frenemy is a friend and a foe combined.
It is.
Those are the ones that you really have to determine. You have to look out for those. If you have a question in your mind about a person, you know, when they come around, you're like, they're cool, but you know, they say little slick things, or, you know, they always kind of on my case about little stuff, and their jokes be more serious than, like, you know, like, damn, girl, you always got a man.
What does that mean?
You know what I'm saying?
Being petty, I mean shady.
What are you trying to say? You know,
right. And too, with that frenemy thing, I would say too that friends or foes or frenemies that get a little too comfortable with your person, with your husband, you know, significant other, whatever. They're like, what your hand doing? Move your hand. Like, even I watch them too, especially when they're, you know, associates, and then maybe you guys got closer, so they're new friends, you know, like, okay, well, you know, maybe we're kind of developing a friendship and they're just doing too much. So you got to watch those too. So it's kind of like you really have to keep your head on a swivel, and that gets tiring, you know. So I get when people, you know, when you kind of are moving to different ages and points, and you're like, okay, I'm kind of getting older, my circle's getting smaller. I get that, because it gets tiring trying to have to either A, censor yourself because you don't want the associates to know all your business, or B, just have to really, okay, well, I gotta watch you. What you mean by that comment? What you mean, were you being petty? It's tiring.
It is. It's very tiring, because you'll be sitting there paranoid as hell, like, I want to go, but who's going to be there? Like, who has my best interests at heart? So I would say some red flags of trying to determine a frenemy are, one of my things is people that make it their business to befriend all your friends, to befriend, you know, your boyfriend and stuff like that. Like, they just overly, they want to be your friends and your friends' friends. You know, you introduce them and now they're cool with everybody. Let's exchange numbers and stuff like that. And let's say you and your boyfriend who will break up, you know, they still trying to be cool with the boyfriend, setting up lunch dates and stuff like, hey, I'm in town, let's get up. Y'all weren't friends before, so.
I don't like that. And they seem to justify, like, well, if we just cool, look. At this point, it's like, okay, so where does your loyalty lie? You are my friend. You know what I mean? And you got cool with them through me. That's how you met them. You don't know their mom. You don't know their dad. You don't mind that. You know their real last name. You know their social media handle. You knew we used to talk or date or whatever. And now y'all friends. Y'all getting drinks and taking shots. And what's happening right now? I don't like that.
What are we doing? You have to be careful with that, because you got to also watch that ex motive. Because he might be cozying up to that person to make you jealous. So now you're trying to figure out, well, what's going on? Who can I trust? So it's definitely a lot that comes with it. But one of the things that I feel like, especially with us, you know, moving up in life, going through careers and families and stuff like that, trying to figure out who's your friend and who's you're not, it wears you down. Because you have this constant paranoia, like, okay, if I say something, who's gonna find out? Or if I'm with you and, you know, do I have to kind of guard myself? I can't do certain things because it might get back out. And you don't want to constantly have to live in that state of paranoia. And I know for me, one of the things that I see a lot is, like, when you join organizations and different social groups, or even when you go to school, sometimes you're forced into these circles. I'm not going to say by default, but by association, sort of. So let's say we're part of the bling 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 association, whatever. And so now you've made these new friends and stuff like that. And for some organizations, like you're almost obligated to maintain these friendships, or that is the whole reason of your part of the organization is to be a part. You know what I'm saying? You are now friends. You have to force yourself to like this person. You have to be together all the time, you know. And so one of the hardest things is trying to continue to be yourself. And once you go through that situation where you are forced, in a sense, to, you know, now you've met these new people, now you have to forge this friendship. Over time, it'll beat you down because you start to realize that you, in all actuality, don't belong in that circle. You know, if you gotta constantly keep fighting with people to get your point across, or you know, or they're always saying little stuff to you, or the stuff that you confide in them, they've gone back and told other people. You have to get to a point where you have to say, you know what, this isn't for me.
It isn't for me,
Sometimes they can be poison or toxic, and sometimes you could be toxic, and you have to know when to remove yourself from that environment. And just because you remove yourself doesn't always make it a bad thing. People don't understand it. They always feel like, oh, she on top of so and so, or oh, she must got an issue with them, or something like that. No, sometimes I could have been the issue. And you know, I had needed to remove myself from that environment to work on me. You have to recognize where you're wanted, where you're not wanted, and not try to force yourself to be accepted in certain circles.
What does they say? Don't fit a square peg or whatever in a circle. You know, you're just trying to fit something that does not fit. You know, you're trying to just force it for whatever reason, but it doesn't fit. And I guess to your point, you know, when you're in transition like that, like, you know, okay, you're starting to see that, all right, this is not working. You know, we're hanging out, but every time I leave, I'm upset, I'm negative, I have an attitude. Or maybe you don't leave like that, but maybe when you're around, you're a different type of person. You know, maybe you're extra petty or extra shady. You know, you're like, dang, that's really actually not me. But every time we're around each other, that's really all we talk about is, oh, did you see Instagram? Did you see somebody post this? Like, that's not really cool. You know, you really start to see a change in yourself, whether good or bad, whether it's how you react to them or how you act with them. So just kind of transitioning out of that friendship without really doing damage to yourself or the other person. Just like, hey, you know, maybe you fall back. You know, I know a lot of friends just go ghost. Like, they'll just go completely ghost, which I don't necessarily do. I mean, for me, I'd rather have a conversation. You know, like, hey, I can't deal with you no more. Like, not on that level. And this is why. We can still be cool. If I see you out, you know, holla at you. But I can't have this level of friendship with you and let you in my inner circle. And these are the reasons why, you know?
Yeah, that is definitely true. You have to determine. And you have to maintain self-loyalty. Like, that's, every time I get with, you know, this group, I'm just unhappy. I'm this, I'm that, and that's just not who I am. And sometimes, you know, I think the biggest issue that people have is people feeling like, oh, they just cut me off. It's okay to tell somebody or a person's like, you know what, guys, listen, I don't feel comfortable in this circle, in this setting, so I'm going to remove myself away from it, because it gives that person closure. It doesn't have them guessing like, well, she don't mess with me no more, so what can I do to her? Tell them. I have no problem telling anybody how I feel. Like, you know what, this is not working for me. Maybe it's me. I know I'm a little special. You know, I know I'm a little special, and my circle gets it. They understand that is. Hey girl, they understand. You know, they're just like, we just gonna.
And they work with you, you know.
They work with me, and that's why I love them. So let's talk about some reasons why we cut off people, and is it justified?
Well, I know, just hearing from different people, talking to different people, not just women either, men too. Definitely one of the top ones people get cut off for is stealing. Any type, like, you, so not like, oh girl, that dress is cute And then I'm like, girl, not like that, you know, because you do that with some level of friends.
That's borrowing.
Yeah, that's borrowing.
Nice feeling.
I mean, so many sweaters. I'm like, I think that's my sweater. Like, it is,
Instagram,
you know.
like, is that my dress?
And I do that to people too. So even if it's really big, I'll still wear it. Right. But really, like really stealing, you know, or even lying about things. I know for me, those are definitely two of the top ones. Crossing barriers, like I said, the whole, you know, friend thing, and then your boyfriend, just like crossing those barriers that you're doing too much, you know, to a point where, okay, why do you have his number? What are you talking about? Why do y'all have each other's number? Just stuff like that. Some barriers need to be in place for certain reasons. And once friends or what have you start to cross them, I mean, the conversation definitely has to be had. So I guess I would say lying, stealing, yeah, those, and then the barriers. I would say those three are my top ones.
Yeah, I agree with those. Justifiable cutoffs. Sometimes it's not always a negative thing. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's for yourself. Mm-hmm. It's for you. You know, the circle you were in over here, it may be all good and dandy, but they're not moving in the direction that you would want them to. Mm-hmm. You got to be able to grow. Yeah. You got to be able to discuss mature things with your friends. Mm-hmm. You got to be able to share your aspirations with them without feeling like they're not going to support you or their congrats is not sincere. So sometimes you have to take a step back and say, you know what, I just don't think I fit in over here. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I'm going to do my thing over here because this is where I feel more comfortable. And that is okay. People have to stop taking things personal when you remove yourself from a situation or an environment. People are, oh, she don't mess with. No, you have to stop saying, you don't know what that person is going through. Yeah, that's true. You know, you have to understand and just be like, you know what, I'm going to love them from a distance. It's always going to be that respect factor. When I see them, it's always going to be, I'm not going to disrespect you. You know, one of the biggest things that I don't like is when there's a noticeable absence. Like people are used to seeing you with these people over here. Right. And then all of a sudden it's like they start noticing that you're no longer with them or they're no longer with you. And then they start asking those questions like, y'all messing with her no more, y'all. Yeah, what's wrong with you and so-and-so? Why do y'all? Yeah. And I'm not at all a good liar. So I really hate being put on the spot, especially depending on how me and that person sever ties. Right, yeah. And it's like, well, you know what? I just feel like we were in different places in life. We didn't have the same outlook. And, you know, I just I had to move on and do what was best for me. So I really hate when people try to, and people that do that are digging. They're digging for some gossip. Yeah, some gossip. So yeah. You know, girl, let me tell you what she said about you. I got the tea on it, girl. Remember what I told you about? Like they're looking for that validation that, I don't know what it is now about our society. They want to be the ones with the TMZ level news. Yeah. It's like they want to be the ones with the first hand news. Like, oh, well, yeah, you don't know what happened, but I talked to her and she told me. Did. And it's like, okay, so you want to be the one with the first information. And I do think that kind of moving from the 20s to the 30s, I just know me as a friend and how I react to friend situations, it definitely has changed. You know, I mean, it went from, okay, like, hey, everybody's cool. It's whoever's birthday. We're all going out. Oh, you're friends with her. Maybe I didn't talk to you in school, but hey, we're good now. I mean, it went to everyone seemed to be included to now it's probably like 3 people included, you know? I mean, and that's even who I even just go hang out with, you know, because I'm getting to a point where it's exhausting and it doesn't benefit me just to hang around someone just to hang around them if I can't be myself and say what I want to say and, you know, talk about the things that I want to talk about. And in terms of aspirations too, as we're moving, you know, to our 30s and beyond, we had goals in our 20s too, but we're getting more mature. I want to talk about those things. So the conversation is different too, to your point, like about kind of cutting people off, if you will, because you guys aren't talking about the same things. Right. And it's not to say what you're talking about is beneath me or anything, but in my 30s now, I'm like, well, I want to talk about this. I might want to talk about savings and whatever, mental health, which is something we'll talk about in a show, you know, just about my mental state. Like, I want to be able to say, girl, I'm overwhelmed. Like, I'm losing my mind. And I want to feel safe saying that. So I know the transition from the 20s to the 30s, that's something that I know for me, I'll notice. for me, it's in a sense big because for a while I was the youngest in my group. I always hung with people that were a little bit, older than me. So I was always the baby in the group, and I started seeing people started hitting 30 or getting towards it and kind of panicking. Because growing up, you always felt like 30 was you're for real grown.
Oh yeah.
you are grown.
Yes.
And it's no more playtime. And so for me, I kind of start seeing people kind of panicking about, their careers, about marriage, families, because as millennials, we always feel like we're on a time clock.
Yes.
It's always a time block. By this age, I have to do this. By that age, I have to do that. And once we're derailed off of that schedule, it's like we're in panic mode. So as I started approaching, I kind of started panicking too, like, what am I doing in my life?
I do this, I do this.
What am I doing? I said I was going to, be a homeowner by 30, which I did accomplish. I said I was going to do this. I said I was going to do that. Yeah. Then I kind of had to step back and realize that you have to take life as it is. Things happen and you have to adjust to it.
Right.
And when it comes to friendships, when you were young in your early 20s, you were just young, free, wild, reckless. You had thousands of friends. You had hundreds of friends. Everybody is my friend.
Yeah.
So as you get older, you start having to, shift through and recognize who has your best interest, because now life is starting to hit you.
Yeah.
And you still have some of those people in their 30s that operate as if they were still 20.
Yeah.
You don't want to hang with people like that. That's reckless and it's immature.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't be out sloppy, drunk, wasted. Like we're in undergrad. We're not anymore. I have a reputation to maintain. I have a career and I have a child.
Yeah.
So I can't act the way that I did back then. I can't do drive-bys with you like, let's go get them, girl. You have to think about that. Number one, it's too far.
Yeah.
We live in metro Atlanta. By the time I get there.
The traffic.
Right. You have to take all of those things into consideration. Like when you get that call like, hey girl, it's going down. What's going down?
What side of town are we talking about?
He's acting up. But I told you, girl, I gotta go out.
Yeah.
Calling me. I'm gonna sit this one out.
I can't do that anymore. Yeah.
And I don't want to hang with people that are still part of that lifestyle.
Right.
You're just like, why do you have all this drama? I'm allergic to drama because I had so much when I was younger. So now I start cringing or I get anxiety at the thought. Of anxiety because we have a choice. We can remove ourselves from those situations. Don't continue to be in a situation. Don't continue to call me and tell me about it. And I've told you, or several people have told you, hey, the common denominator is this. Remove yourself from it. No, you want to be in that drama. Yeah. So because you want to be in that drama, you're going to continue to have drama.
You want to be in there.
I can't. No. The way my anxiety is set up, I can't have people in my circle with drama. Yeah. I can't have a relationship that has drama. It's me or you, and I choose me because I need that self-care, that self-love. Right. And I can't have anxiety stressing over who's my friend, who's not my friend. So
and I think, just to piggyback and close on that point, to your point about just protecting that, protect yourself, protect your energy. Because now I'm trying to do so many positive things, like a business or just in work and with friendships, relationships, and I always want to just spit out positivity. So I cannot deal with any of your negative drama impacting my positivity, and then I end up spewing out that negativity. So I have to protect myself. I'm the best protector of my own, what I want to do. So I have to protect myself, and you have to make the decision. Like, okay, you know what? Y'all look cool. I wish no harm to you. Happy birthday text when it's your birthday. Yeah. But I can't hang with you. I can't be on the phone with you for hours, listen to how this person did you wrong, how you rolled up on that person. I have to just, let it go. So definitely, friend or foe, that is something that millennials, that we deal with that. We deal with that.
We do. And to talk about the positive side of friendship, how to make it work, I definitely would say how to make genuine, real friendships work is space and understanding.
Oh yeah.
We're all grown. We all have obligations. We all have our own life, and you have to understand that it's okay if we don't talk every day.
Yeah.
It's okay if we don't talk every week.
Right.
We may hit each other once a month or even quarterly, but we know that our friendship is still intact.
Right.
We know where we stand. It's not a question of, are we still cool? I haven't heard from so-and-so.
in a week,
Right. we live life, but when we get together, we catch up like we never left off. So that in itself determines your maturity when you transition into your 30s. Because now, like they say, shit gets real.
Yeah, shit gets real.
You know, now we're for real grown.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how we're gonna bring our money together and invest. Let's talk about these property taxes, girl. How are you dealing with that?
Yeah.
And different things that are gonna help make your life better, not add drama to or take away from, but like how do you enhance that friendship? You just really have to hone in on those people who have your best interests at heart, and you keep them near. And
right.
you, like I said, you understand that we have obligations, we have families, we have things, or we have commitments that we have to deal with, but you still know I love you, I'm here for you, whatever you need, I'm right there.
Yeah. Because now these ages, even before, but even more so now, we have aging parents. Some parents, they may have, some type of sickness, and parents may live with them, or just work struggles, financial struggles if they have children. So it's like, I didn't call you back, and what, you gonna be mad at me for a month? So what, we're not friends no more because I don't call you every day when I leave work? That understanding, that's a major key that you said, because relationships that early on I realized the person wanted to be smothered. They wanted me to call them every single day, or hey stranger, dang, I ain't heard from you. Oh, what, you so busy? Oh, you brought your book, you so busy. I don't have time for no pettiness. Like, I'm busy, but maybe my dad's sick. Maybe you didn't know that, but you wouldn't know because you're coming at me crazy. You know what I mean? So, and then I think it's like that reaction, then I react, and then now I cut you off. So, the cycle is just so, you can get there really quickly. But definitely understanding, if you are that type of friend that finds yourself, well, dang, why she didn't call me? Why? Maybe point the finger at yourself like, well, maybe she's going through something. Let me reach out to her and say, hey, sis, haven't heard from you, hope you good, thinking about you. That goes a long way versus a stranger, dang, can't call nobody back. The positivity and the, hey, I thought about you type of communication, it goes farther than the negativity, for sure.
That's very true. People have to understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
And not take things personal. So you have to be willing to compromise, and you don't know what the person is going to check on your strong friends.
Yeah.
If you notice a change in a person's activity, if you know this person, you start noticing like they've kind of taken a break. They always posted, but now they're not. Or you just start seeing weight changes. That it got too big, got too small.
Yeah.
Y'all look at me. I was a little skinnier than this, and now I'm a little plump. Ask me, hey.
Don't ask
me. you okay over there? What we need to do. But I can honestly say that I don't have any drama within my circle.
And it feels so good.
So,
oh my goodness.
It's a relief, like, whew. And I know at one point in life that I was bringing drama, and I had to take a step back, and I had to reevaluate myself, and that's so important. Be true to yourself and recognize that when you're wrong. Yeah. So I would definitely say that's important. And another thing I want to talk about in friendships is supporting your friends. You have to, as an entrepreneur and just whatever venture you may be doing, you can't get upset and you can't expect everybody in your circle to support you. Right. That's where a lot of people get let down and upset. Yeah, people show support in different ways. Just because, I don't buy your product doesn't mean that I didn't go tell 10 other people about it. Right. Your product may be something that I don't need or don't use. That doesn't mean I don't support you. Right. I read somebody's post one time, and she was selling a service, and she was getting upset because people, some people were just kind of declining. She kind of asked me about it too, and I was like, no, it's not something that I need or I'm interested in. And so she just, went on this general rant and started going in on people, and was just like, half of y'all can't afford to get this because, this, that, and the third. And it's like, but you asked me if my situation was in good standing because it is. So why would I don't need that service. It wouldn't benefit me.
Right.
So,
did you ask me if you, instead of responding like that, you could have said, well, hey, that's fine. If you do me a favor, can you refer me to 10 people, whether you know their situation or not? Just 10 people I could talk to if you wouldn't mind. That's a classy way to handle that.
It is.
You know, but you just getting mad. It's like, okay, so we're done with that, you know?
And you see people getting upset like, oh, my friend's not supporting me because look how you're acting. I can't sit there and risk, you know, hey, go support my friend and you over there.
Snap on them.
Yeah, because somebody told you no. You're going to hear no. And you'll find that sometimes you get your biggest support outside of your circle. So don't beat up your friends because you feel like, oh, you didn't buy this, you're not supporting me,
right, or
you didn't like my picture and stuff like that. Nobody has to do anything for you.
Right.
You have to keep moving forward. Regardless. And let me tell you what the biggest thing is for me is consistency. If you're going to be some person that's going to sell this, that, and third, you're consistent about your brand and you're branding yourself in a positive light.
Right.
But if you're one of those people that jump from the next best things, excuse me, you over here selling this 1 minute, that didn't work, you're selling that the next minute, that didn't work. It's like, how can I? You know, my money is, in a sense, sacred like everybody else's. I don't want to just spend my money
for it.
Any and everywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm going to support those who I feel like are good people, not just good people, but you have a solid brand, you know. So I feel comfortable telling people, buy this, buy that. You know, this is my girl. Not somebody got to question if you're going to be in business next week.
Yeah, and question how you will how professionally you will react to someone that I maybe a friend, a coworker. If I tell my boss, hey, you know, try this product, and they're like, yeah, I tried it, and your friend, because that's how they're going to label it. They're not going to say your associate, your friend, your foe, your frenemy. They're going to say your friend, blah, 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 blah. You know, you're like, oh, then it makes you, it's almost like a bad referral.
Yes.
You know, it makes you feel bad that you even put yourself out there, you know, so it's all around bad for business and bad for relationships.
Exactly. Maintain your professionalism.
Right.
Just because somebody told you no or decline does not mean it's the end of the world. You may have one no, but you get 10 yeses.
Yeah.
And that person may come back one day, you know what, I thought about it and I do need your product. For instance, you know, one of my friends, she has this business and she's selling a product, and I felt like, well, that's not a product that I needed, but you know, I still kind of told people about it, referred it, and then fast forward some months later, someone gives me the product to try because of my sensitivity. I was like, I don't think this would do good for me, but I referred her to other people. I tried it and I'm just like, just know that. And we'll talk about that probably on the next show. But I was like, oh, hey, I know I told you in the beginning that I'm happy you're doing this, but you know, I can't use it, but this girl, put me on repeat every month. I'm gonna buy that because I lied. Listen, you know, I tried. I did that.
But I would say too, to your point, feedback. I remember one time someone started a business, everybody was doing this. It's like kind of like a certain beauty business. Somebody was doing it, everybody's doing it, and I didn't want the service. And she, which I thought was really interesting, she asked me why. She was like, is there something I'm doing or how I'm branding or something I said to you or whatever that's making you feel like you don't want this service? I said, truth be told, it's just everybody's doing it, I'm just not there yet. And that's it. It has nothing to do with you. But she said, well, I just want to know because someone had commented on her logo when she asked for that honest feedback, you know, her whatever she was doing. And from that, she enhanced and improved her brand, her logo, her approach. So she got better from feedback. But that was a vulnerable, you know, comment. And she got a lot of value from that.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So don't attack your friends, don't attack your circle because you feel like they're not supporting you.
Yeah.
You don't know what they're doing behind the scenes. So just because they didn't buy your stuff directly, you don't know that they might have sent 10 other people that bought your stuff. So don't feel like my friends don't support me. Nobody, especially if you go on a little social media rant. Oh yeah,
that's the quickest way for me to just
be like,
delete
never
you
mind.
actually.
You know, but we want to say thank you for tuning in to Friends or Foe. We look forward to you tuning in for the next episode.
And you can find us on our website. You can find our episodes there at www.millennialmindstate.net. Also, are we on social media or not?
We are on social media. We have our IG, our Facebook, Twitter, all at Millennial Mindstate. Make sure you share. I don't care if you don't even like us.
Share
anyway. We may say something about you. Just share it anyway, you know.
Yes.
But we thank you, tuning again.
Here to prove
Thank you.
it. We're millennials, this is how we do it. We make good money, but we're broke and we're going through it. We have many problems, we know how to hustle through it. Millennials run the world and we're here to prove it.